Oh my goodness, guys. I hope I remember how to do this. It's been quite a second since I've done this. I'm so excited. So I had a little setback, but I'll tell you what, the guest that I have tonight is somebody who, from the first time I was watching his videos, I was like, man, we grew up together. Like, we're brothers from another mother. Like, you know, we just, I'm digging the personality. I'm digging the passion. How are you tonight, Darko?
Yo, Matt, I'm doing amazingly well. I just so honored that I'm your first guest since you're back on the scene. I can't believe it. Yo, when you reached out to me, it was an immediate yes. So
Oh,
thank you.
man.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, bro.
Oh, thank you. So I would have to say, and there's a couple things that go a little deeper than what I'm going to say right now. We'll get into that here in a few minutes because we relate on more levels than I thought at first. Um, I like that you set up a camera, and sorry, the babies. Anybody who's watched me in the past, there's going to be a little baby in the background. Yeah, maybe 5-10 minutes. You guys are used to it, but watching you talk about, I believe the first thing I watched of yours, you're talking about Mark Lawrence, the book that wouldn't burn. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just got the book for my birthday. Like my wife got it for me. I loved what you said about it. I agreed with all of it. And again, the passion. When people talk about the way I do things, I'm me. So I don't know what that is or what that isn't. I'm just being myself. So when I get feedback, I guess I show a little passion, and I guess that I look for that myself because, man, you've got it. You got a lot of it. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
of course, man, it's like engaging, and it's just one of those things that's kind of contagious in the best way possible. So, man, I see all you guys over there. Thank you so much, Ryan. I'm gonna shout out some people in the chat real quick.
Go for it, bro.
Darko.
Go for it.
Ryan, man, good to see you. I knew you'd be here, brother. Chris, look, he's in the UK. He's up late, guys.
Wow, man.
Right?
Thank you.
Okie, my guy. Okie.
Oh, my boy Britton. That's my boy.
Yeah. All right. Knoxwich, but I was thinking about you, Knox. I was thinking about you while I was watching videos in the hospital, and then a little bit before I got in the hospital, I was like, I hadn't seen you in a while, and it's just so nice to see you over there in the chat because you've always got those like. It's like, who knows more than most people? It's you. You throw those comments in. It's like, oh, she knows exactly what she's talking about. So it's so cool to see you. Fraternal Cloud, thank you so much. Yes, I'm back, and it's a beautiful thing. I love talking to you guys. My other half, my love, the beard's back. Thank you, baby. Sarah Beth, hello. Glad you're back. Thank you so much. Tim McKay, my guy. The list goes on. Oh, Jim McClear, my guy. Fear the beard, dude. Fear the beard. And look, Darko, look at that, man. He's got some game on his chin.
Just a little, just a tad, you know.
Hey, man, it's all good. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh no.
Okay. Hey, so maybe mess around with. Sometimes it happens, man. There it is. See, like I told you before, I was telling Darko, I was like, man, anytime stuff like that happens live, man, it's like you're just human with it. You got to roll with it, and he did.
Yeah.
Dude, no sweat, baby. All right. Rob Blender, man, good evening. John, man, thank you for that, dude. He's one of those guys like you, Darko. Man, he's been here since like I had -3 subscribers.
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
He calls
That's
me in the
amazing.
hospital. So thank you, John, man. Seriously, dude, that is so kind of you. Thank you. I'll get to the rest of you. I know you guys are chatting over there. I appreciate all of you so much. I'm sweating a little bit. It's been a crazy day. We did some egg hunts. We got 4 little kids running around. So, see, John, real recognize real, dude. He already knows it about himself. So I want to dive into this first, if it's cool. I like to start at kind of the beginning, man, because even if that beginning is like for me, my beginning was 29. Okay. What I mean by that is I didn't have a love for literature until I was 29. So for you, what was that brought you that love and passion that you display so well for literature?
Man, it started when I was extremely young. Like my mom was a very avid reader. So she used to take me to the library. I mean, I was reading even before I was in pre-K because she would read to me and then make me read back to her. And I was, even though I have an older sister, she's like 17 years older than me.
Oh
So I
wow.
grew, yeah. So we both grew up like only kids. So I was like an only child, which has its perks, but you know, it can get a bit lonely and bored when you don't have any siblings. And so I
Sure.
found books to be a good escape, you know,
Mm.
because hey, I can join other people on their journeys and within their life. And you know, and it was great to read books where you had like friend groups and I could kind of pretend to fantasize I was a part of that friend group, and or I had siblings who we get along or we fight and go on these journeys that were outside of my own life and out of my own comfort zone. And that kind of continued on, and you know, until now, because you know, I don't, I guess when I was in college I didn't read for fun a lot, because I mean, who does, unless you're Britain. That's, you know,
Yeah,
that's only
right.
you know, that's about it. But after that, you know, I really got back into it, and then I just love, you know, especially fiction, because to me it helps me take a look at myself, you know,
Ooh.
like how these characters, you know, deal with challenges and overcome so many things. And you know, you learn a lot. So so it gave me, you know, so till to this day I still have a passion for it, and you know, hopefully I always will. You know, I love it. And I just, and also I'm just a word nerd, and you know, reading is always a great way to learn words. So
Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I think my funnest thing, like, I was kind of skeptical of the Kindle. I know you're a fan, and I am too
right,
now.
of course,
Um,
yeah.
I seen the whole Oasis deal. It's depressing, right? Shit, man.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't think I was gonna enjoy reading on the Kindle. I was wrong. Um, you kind of, I'm growing with the times. I don't know if that's like, I said it, guys. I'm sorry. I love the physical book, though. I do. I like the pages, the smell. I'm weird.
No, I mean, I love that. I love the display, the physical book, even though I don't read it. I love the way just as like as an art piece, because especially some of these beautiful covers they come out with now, it's just, you know, it's
Yeah,
phenomenal. So I love to have it displayed on my shelf.
I
But
love
just
that.
yeah, they can be heavy though, especially when you read, you know, fantasy. You know,
Mm.
and the average book's like 1,000 pages. So
The first time you move your bookshelf, like after you've been collecting for like maybe even just like a couple months, you realize how heavy that is. You
yes,
start
yes,
filling boxes up, guys. You're going to need a dolly because
yeah, yeah.
it's not forgiving on the lower back muscles. I promise.
No, it's
Um,
not, like, because like my husband is all like hardback. Like that's all he
yeah,
buys is physical copies. Like I gave him a Kindle, like my old one, and he used it for a little bit, but he loves physical books. And so most of the books when we moved here, we had to lug were his, and it was, I mean, it was boxes and boxes.
heavy, dude. It's work. That's a day's work. Um,
Yes, it is.
but I kind of still on the same like wavelength. Word nerd,
Mm-hmm.
man. I think that, and you ain't got like. I used to think, and I'm sorry, I had preconceived notions about things. I think we all do, and I'm just admitting it, just being real. I,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people like, learn a word a day or learn a word a week. I just really wasn't into it. I didn't understand it. And now I'm going through a book on my Kindle, and we have that luxury of just holding the button down. It's like, I just learned 10 new words today. Like,
Yes.
man, nothing feels better. It's like you can talk about things
Mm-hmm.
in a more intelligent way. You can describe yourself, your feelings in a more accurate way. It's very it's a treasure.
Yes, it is. And you just listed the benefit of the Kindle, you know, just pushing on a word and seeing the definition, and then you can highlight and bookmark it to refer to later. I mean, I love it's one of the most convenient devices I think ever made.
So, as a booktuber, what do you do review notes? Like, is your do you highlight quotes and kind of look back on those?
You know what's crazy is like I highlight quotes and I swear to myself that if I review this, I'm gonna go look back and I don't. I don't. Oh, it's crazy.
It
Yeah,
ain't
so
crazy, bro. I do the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah. Like so,
Uh,
because I'll review something, I'm like, oh man, I forgot to say this, and so, but you know, maybe at some point, you know, I may reference it for another reason, but not like for reviews. I always forget to.
that's one thing I hope I do. And I gotta say, I see you over here, my guy, EL, my moderator, my guy, somebody who
What's
keeps
up?
me, he kind of was the first person to like inspire me to look at the side of writing to this, man. And that's something I'm still exploring. It's something I'm doing prompts now. I wasn't really doing anything before. I was trying to do an outline, and I would just stare at the screen and kind of on a tangent here. But as of recent, I had some really good advice from Palmer Pickering, and she was like, "Look, do some writing prompts and send them to people just to kind of keep you accountable. Like, have fun, find out how you write. Well, you're not going to write a brilliant book the first time, so get some practice." And that's working for me, man. So I'm so excited. But yeah, E.L. Montague, man, he's got a book coming out soon. I've got all the links in my Twitter and the last post that I had with him on it. And I'm just so pumped for him. I'm happy for you, bro. And all the success. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I love all the writers I'm discovering on Booktube. Like, this is awesome. All these like new and indie writers, and they have this platform now. You don't need a big publisher. I mean, I think it's awesome.
Taking control of their own journey, man. I think it's the next big, it's that thing. You having creative freedom without any, boxes trying to be built around you. There's nobody saying, "Hey, you should probably do," doing exactly what you want shows the varying types of creativity and those boundaries that weren't pushed before that are being pushed and maybe not even explained. It's just exciting. So I dig what you're saying for sure. What's up with the kicks, dude? I'll tell you, if my feet were a little bit smaller, man, I'd be right there with you buying sneaks all day. They don't make my size, homie.
Oh man, what size do you wear?
Like 15 triple wide.
Oh wow, bro.
Nike's like slim.
Yeah. Yo, so I mean, like I've seen that size at like the dedicated stores of particular brands. Like if you go to a Nike store or an Adidas or a New Balance store, they'll have those sizes. But yeah, man, I couldn't even imagine. Like I knew when you said you wore large sizes, I did not think that didn't even cross my mind because I wear 13, which is difficult enough.
Yeah. It's like, so I think that if they make, this is the weird thing. So if it's a shoe, it's like I'm a 16. If it's a boot, I'm like a 15. And honestly, it's weird because Walmart carries really nice boots for me. And I've been buying the exact same pair for like 10 years. They have not changed their look. It's just, I know that they fit. So when one kind of, gets a little too old and roughed up, get me another pair of the exact same thing. So it's consistent, but sometimes you kind of want to match you want to look nice, go out to dinner with your significant other, do whatever, go to a play, whatever it is. That has not been a part of my journey. So I think that's slick. I think it's cool because I used to have a buddy in high school and he drove a Honda Civic, and in the back of his Civic, he would have like 30 pristine boxes of Nikes, like 500,000 miles on this Civic, right? And he would just pull up, and whatever the occasion was, he had it. He knew he did. So he's like, "Hey, what are we doing? I have the right sneaker in my car, I promise."
He sounds like me. It's funny. I have like $100,000 and some thousand on my car, and like in the back is like full of sneakers just in case something, like if I go out for one reason and something else comes up, I have to switch it up now. Because if we were walking, I need something more comfortable. Where I was prepared to dine and go home, but now we're walking to the bar or something. Now I need to switch it up. Okay, so
that's what's up. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So it's fun, and it just kind of, I think, kind of plays into that creative part of what kind of all brings us all together. It's beautiful, man. So, what was it that inspired you to finally say, "I'm going to open that YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to lead this team that I'm going to start on YouTube, man." And you're doing wonderful. I love it. But what started that for you?
Man, I appreciate that. So I considered it. I mean, I had a couple of friends who had suggested it. And in fact, I have a friend who started her own like fashion YouTube channel. And she said, you should consider doing, something on YouTube. You like books, you like shoes. Maybe, you can talk about both of them somehow. I was like, okay. I mean, I'll think about it. And then, but that was like a year ago. And then my husband had encouraged me because I always come to him talking about books. Like, I think the last book I was reading like a Sun Eater book, and I was like, "Yo, this dude just blew up a son, and it's crazy." And he's like, he was like, "Babe, won't you? You should go talk about it on YouTube. You know, like you watch all those videos. Once you go do it, and so I'm like, you know, I still was like, I don't know. But then as I started getting more involved in the Booktube community, like Matt over like at Matt's Fantasy Book
Oh
Reviews,
yeah.
that was the first Discord I really got involved in. And like thanks to him, like I became more involved in talking to other booktubers like Ben, you know, with Books with Bingus and guys like that. And I'm like, yo, these are just regular guys coming over here talking. Like it's not no big production. And they don't have a whole bunch of graphics going on. They just like, yo, turn the camera on, they talking about books and they doing the thing. And I was like, okay, now let me think about that. Let me try that. And so like January 2024, that was my New Year's resolution. I was like, okay, I'm hopping on BookTube. And then I was like, yo, where all the brothers at? You know what I'm saying? They need some, need some brothers on here. You know, just a few more. You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy Epic Tales. He's one I mess with. Yeah, but I was like, yo, let me get on here and just diversify it up a little bit. And you know, here I am.
So I'm glad you kind of touched on it at the end because, like, I did not know that going into a BookTube channel, I would find these other things that I liked. Man, culture, finding out what your day-to-day is that's different than my day-to-day, relating through those differences even. It's just been such like this refreshing, like kind of breath of fresh air. And it's honestly just been one of the coolest things I've felt like I've ever been a part of. So finding our differences is what I enjoy. It's funny in the world we live in, people are finding differences as a way to push each other away. Never thought that way. I've never, ever thought that way because what I don't know to be normal intrigues me. My normal is not everybody else's normal. I want your normal I don't know, maybe that makes no sense, but I think that the things that I'm not familiar with naturally intrigue me, and I love finding out about those. It makes us all individuals.
Yes, it does. And I've had similar experiences on here, encountering people from other, ethnic groups and even people with certain physical conditions who may see a book in a different light that was a blind spot for me before. And so now I recognize and rectify it as I move forward, so it's, to me, it's a journey within itself in BookTube and learning and discovering things. So I appreciate that part of it.
Oh, 100%. It's so rewarding. I want to take a real quick. I hope one of the things I've been trying to get better at is throwing these amazing questions or chats up. I'm getting better, guys. Double ask my wife, doing two things at once. It's like, honey, you're doing the dishes, and that's like the only thing you can do. Like, there's nobody that can talk to. Like, I'm trying, y'all.
No, I feel you on that one. Believe me.
100%, man. BellTube, dude.
Oh my boy Brian. Oh man, shout out to Brian. I'm on his channel Wednesday, 7 Eastern Standard. Yo, yeah, Brian. He was the first booktuber to ever invite me on his channel. Thank you. And he's a big inspiration for me. Like when I saw his channel, I was like, yo, I want to do this. Like it might have been like one of his One for the Roads, or I don't know what it was, but yeah,
they're brilliant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He can't. So very similar experience. I have to say, we're talking about you, Brian, man. What is it? Your nose itches or your palm? I don't know. I'm not superstitious, but they say something like that. I watched his channel for the first time. I believe he had 10 or 15 subscribers, and I'm seeing Philip Chase, recommending his video. I was like, this guy came out swinging. Like he has that just natural likability. He's had experience in the social area, as far as being club owner and inventing things, kind of dealing with a lot of people. So I think he had a leg up with that. So man, he's doing a wonderful thing. And I seen that the other day. I was like, I said, Brian, because I seen his post about you guys talking. I said, Brian, we are on the same wavelength way more than I think we both noticed. Because I didn't know that you were going on his channel, and I had asked you, and it's just funny kind of finding this thing. It totally makes sense. Brian, you're the man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, shout out to Brian.
Let's see here. Ryan says, Darko, you'll need another shelf with all the book mailer you're about to. Oh, you about to get Lost Souls?
Oh my gosh! Thank you, Ryan. Oh my, I've been waiting for like an author to send me something.
Oh, bro,
Yeah, I've been waiting.
That ain't gonna take long, man. There's just yeah. You'll get to a point where you have to kind of like be honest about how long it's going to take you to get to things, because man, there's so many wonderful artists and authors out there. And then it's me, for being a caring person, it's hard to tell somebody no, but it's like I had this crossroads. Like, I either have to say, hey, not yet, or not right now, please hit me up in like a month or 2 months, rather than say, yeah, send me the book. I know that costs them money. Like, I can't be a part of something not, you have to be honest.
Right.
I think that's a huge part of doing what you and I do. And that'll become a part of what your channel goes through, I promise. Because there's so many wonderful and willing authors to share their work with you, and just want your opinion. It's beautiful.
It is. It's an honor, really. Because they put their heart and soul into this. And
that's their baby.
Definitely.
I'd say Uzman, my guy from Bards and Books, man. Thank you for popping in.
Up, man? Thank you.
Uzman, he's got such a wonderful channel.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he talks about books in a way that's like, it's straight to the point, but it's so entertaining.
It keeps you watching, engaged. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, Catherine Alice, so good to see you, Catherine. Matt is back and comboing with Kindles. Yes. We're here tonight. And I have to say, I've never, not one time, had 106 people watching my live. For all you guys watching, that's absolutely incredible. I think the most I've ever had is like 52. So that's double.
That's awesome. They all here for you, man. You're back. Like, you've been gone a while, man.
I think it was like the combination, the personalities colliding.
Yeah.
It's just a spectacular celebration.
It's crazy. It's a galactic event.
Exactly. Thank you all for being here. That's incredible, man. I don't know the context of this EL. Do you, Lisa? I'll do this one first. Sometimes the context, I'll throw it up. It makes no sense. So EL, I see that you said, do you like Darko? Do you like darker books? Reiterate. Daniel says, if I had to choose a booktuber for a cage match, I'd go, wow, I didn't read this before I threw it. I'd go with one of the ones who are a lot smaller. Well, you're just being honest. I feel you. Yeah. Oh, I see why, John. He's always in the chat asking these left field questions. Of course, it's John. I got a question. Which booktuber would you like to fight in a cage match? Man, how can you answer that question? It's like, I'm not even thinking about fighting nobody in a cage match.
No, I don't want to fight nobody. No.
So I think if I was to fight somebody, it'd have to be somebody at least my equal size, just for the pride's sake. I'll have to get back with you on that, John. You've got the questions tonight, brother. So he did. E.L. Montague said, do you like dark books, Darko?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like it all. I mean, Mark Lawrence is one of my favorite authors, and, he can get pretty dark. Now, Book of Wood and Burn wasn't very dark, but, his previous, they can get it, but his previous series, Prince of Thorns. Yeah, that was insane. That was insane. That was my introduction to grimdark, and so I like it all.
I think somebody's turned me on to Prince of Thorns by specifically saying, I've heard. Well, the person said, I personally dropped the book because of how dark it was from the beginning, but also I've heard that others did too, and that made me want to read it. I'm sick.
I love it.
It was good.
Yeah, it was real good.
Ryan says, so real quick, do you know who Nick Horvath is?
No, I don't.
Okay, so he's another, he played professional basketball against like Yao Ming, played with Kobe.
Oh, okay.
He's been on my channel, man. He's doing slick stuff. He lives in, of course, I'm going to just totally brain fart, New Zealand. And 6'10". He writes in a really punchy type of style prose, and it's called Sledge versus Labyrinth. It's really good, man. It's so good.
Oh, nice.
It's really punchy. But yeah, he's 6'10", bro. Ryan, Nick's gonna palm my. I'm 6'5", so I'm not small.
No,
but Nick's gonna palm my face.
yeah.
Like,
I
look,
mean,
dude, Yao
that'd be quite a
Ming.
match, though. I like to see that, though. That'd be quite a match.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right. Yes. Good deal, man. So, all right. So something kind of on a serious note, man. I've been excited, and I think this is wonderful that you shared this on your channel, man. For March, that was kidney. Would you explain that?
Oh, for kidney awareness month.
Kidney Awareness Month.
Yeah, or Kidney Month, National Kidney Month. It can be used either way. Yeah, so March is. Oh, go. You want to add something?
No, please.
Oh, okay, all right. So March is, such a very important month for me because I had battled kidney disease my entire life, and so at the age of 27, my kidneys had failed me. Forced me, I had to be on dialysis for several years, and being that young on dialysis, man, it was rough.
It's rough, bro.
Outside of going through all that, to not be able to kind of be a 20-something-year-old, and the saddest part, was that I wasn't the youngest one that would go for treatments, but I built a lot of friendships. That was the great thing. Got a lot of lifelong friendships doing that, and fortunately for me, I was eventually transplanted in 2016, and I've been doing great ever since. And so I often use my story as a testimony to encourage others to be donors. I recently did a talk at National Kidney Foundation to kind of talk about post-transplant care and things you should look out for, and so I often go to the events whenever they invite me, because I think it's just very important for people to consider being a donor, particularly if you have friends or family who are in need of one, particularly a kidney donor, because you can still donate a kidney and live.
Absolutely.
and you can live a full, healthy life with just one kidney. And whenever I get an opportunity to speak on that, I'm willing to, because it's the most needed organ in the world.
Didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, which is odd because you have two of them, but like when one fails, they both fail.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah. So I mean, I appreciate your comment, to hear about your grandfather,
So what I said was my grandfather needed a heart transplant, and from the very first, I remember my mom taking me to get my license for the first time. She said, because of somebody's donor option on their license, your grandfather was able to hang out with you for a little bit before he passed, and it's important. And I was like, yeah, sign me up. Like if I'm able to help somebody after I'm gone, 100%. So that's always been something that's like deep seated with me. So when I saw that video, I was like, man, that's brave. He told his story, and by telling your story, you sincerely, and even like us talking about now, like affect a lot more than you realize, man, because it goes deep. So thank you for sharing that, because that's not always easy, but you did, and that was brave, and I think that's wonderful.
That. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comment and your encouragement and being a donor like this. Thank you for that. That's amazing and generous, very generous.
I think it's a great thing when you have the option to help somebody to do so. So man, looking forward, we're kind of still at the beginning of this year, getting closer to the middle already. I don't even get it. Where's time go?
Crazy.
Bro?
I'm like, what is 20? I mean, I don't know. These like the older you get, the faster time just flies by. And I'm sure you're a father. You got 4 kids, and it's probably like whirlwind every day for you. So
it's So man, I think it kind of comes with the age, not just kids. Like you look at a day to day, and it's kind of like, you look back, it's like 6 months is gone. Let's start paying a little more attention to this or that. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. And I don't know it's a bad thing. It's just what it is, really.
Right. It is.
But looking forward into the rest of the year, what are some planned reads that you have on your TBR, maybe that you're particularly excited about?
Well, I just restarted Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Yeah, this will be my 3rd try. So hopefully third time is a charm. I always get stuck at Midnight Tides, which is the 5th book. Like I love the first 4 every time I read them, and then it's like Midnight Tides. I get stuck, but I think I have a plan now. Yes, Sarah Beth, donate life. Yes. I have a plan because I've recently read Real on the Elderlings, and like taking breaks when I get fatigued help to finish the series. So I think I'm gonna do the same with Malazan, and I have a whole thing called Malazan Mondays. I'm gonna do every so often and update people on my progress and how I feel all about the series, because
Man.
I think it's gonna help me finish it by talking to other people. Because I mean, Malazan fans are extremely enthusiastic, so.
You said you're a fan of Matt's fantasy book reviews, so that's his. I don't think it'll ever leave his
that's
number
his
one.
thing. Yeah, that's his thing. And he's about to start reading Guardians of the Moon, matter of fact, in a couple of weeks.
I saw that.
So, oh man,
it's all good. Yeah. So I'm part of the Discord, and I'll get like the notifications, and I thought that was cool, man. Knowing that he's been through the 10-book series. Because look, guys, if you've never been through even just like a 4 or 5 book series, it's dedication. It's a lot of stuff to remember this and that. There's many aspects, but to be so in love with the series is something that I want to feel. Very attractive part of Malazan. So it's funny. I've tried 3 times as well. I didn't set it down because I wasn't enjoying it. I had not made it past the first book. Reason being is I didn't learn. Well, no, I bought the book before I started the channel. Definitely not a first fantasy book read. Like, you don't start with Malazan. I didn't know that, and I tried.
You don't.
Nah.
No, it's a. I mean, I know people say it's extremely complicated, but I think if you just take your time, you just can't breeze through it.
So in the chat, they were talking about my favorite indie book of last year. Well, read period, which would be John Palladino's Trials of Ashmount, which is it's a grimdark book, and I've read darker, but it's not about that. Like, his writing, man, he like hit Joe Abercrombie notes, George R. R. Martin notes, and he did something I particularly love, and I've also heard is a part of the Malazan journey, and that is multiple points of view. At first, I didn't think I'd like that. I was going to get confused. I just trust that author, right? And man, he just guides me there. You just gotta trust the author. He'll get you there. She'll get you there.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. I love multi POV. That's my favorite kind of book. Yeah, which is why I think, because I also recently read Red Rising, most of the books, well, all of the books up to the latest, and I like the second series better because it's multi POV outside of just Darrow. So I mean, anytime multi POV, same thing with Realm of the Elderlings, like Live Ship Traders trilogy is probably the best to me in the whole series, and part of it, I just love the multi POV. So yeah,
it's cool, man, because I always hit a point in an interview, especially like the first one, because man, I definitely plan on having you back. Like, I've had people back multiple times, and it's like I hit a point in that first interview where I realize you did start reading at a younger age, and that's awesome. I love those stories because they've been very important. I think that's a lot of people. Well, I think that's most readers who are continuing to read in their adult life. For me, it's like, wow, I have, there's 2 ways I can think about it. It's like, I'm behind, which is the negative route, which is not usually where my mind goes. I'm more of a positive, optimistic kind of mind. You got to be in today's world. And it's more of like, oh, I get the chance to experience what this person is telling me about that they experienced. So I'm looking forward to a lot of that. I'm not going to lie. I went off on a tangent about that for I don't know what reason, because my brain does that. But no,
it's all good. It's the excitement.
Exactly. But I think the multiple POVs is why. It really has hit home for me. I get excited when I pick up a book and there's names on each chapter. It's like, all right, so I'm gonna have to trust the author on this one. It's always a fun ride, and the payoffs are really good.
Yeah, but Malazan, I mean, Erickson switches POVs like mid paragraph or something. Like, it's like mid page. You don't get a heads up. You just you got to roll with it. You really got to trust the author on that.
He's like, let's see how far these people's mind can stretch. That's cool though, man.
Right.
From what I understand, especially hearing so many people talk about that series, it's just he's a master. That's literally the only answer I have without reading it. That I hear people telling me like trust me, don't trust me. Okay, he's he's a master. Erickson is just a gangster at writing
Yeah, he is.
big, grim, dark fantasy.
He is like him. I think he's an author that like people should study because of how great he is at just the art of writing, period. Even if you aren't a fan of the story, like he just has a way with words, unlike any author, I think, out all that I have encountered before.
I keep seeing these broken binding pieces of art that people are, Patrick is doing that also. Oh my gosh, that's gonna bug me. He's one of my favorite people ever. Guys, throw me the name down here. He's a huge illustrator. I cannot think of his name. They'll know it. It'll be here in just 3 seconds. Watch. I can't think of his name. Anyway, he's wonderful. He's the other guy that's doing the art from the Malazan series for.
Yeah, because Patrick talks about him.
Felix Ortiz. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I knew it was going to be a rush down here. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Anyway, he is absolutely one of the most talented people. Like when I see a piece of art, I can absolutely say if he's done it. He's just got that style to him.
Oh yeah, he has a signature to him. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, that's a great artist.
So let's see here. Ooh, I like this one. It has been a while since I've asked this question. It's kind of a hard one. If there could be one or two, you can name 2 or 3, however many you want to. I know it's hard to kind of focus it down onto one book. But man, is there one or a couple books that if you could read again for the first time, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm taking that?
So Matt, I'm not going to lie. Like my memory is terrible. So if I go more than like 3 to 4 years without reading something, I will forget most of it. And when I read it again, it will almost be like me reading it for the first time, unless I've read it multiple times. So if I think of like some of my favorites that I wish I could read for the first time, it will probably be A Song of Ice and Fire. Like that series changed my whole reading trajectory. When I became older and was introduced to it, because Harry Potter was the only fantasy I've read before then. And I was, I completely didn't even think about fantasy outside of Harry Potter. But, when I was put onto A Song of Ice and Fire, I was like, this is what I've been missing for all these years. I mean, those books blew me away the first time I read them. And so if I could just do a reset, forget it all, and read them all again, even with the show, I'll read them, because I love those books.
So you've made it all the way through to the most current book.
Right.
Okay.
I sure have.
Are you frustrated? Yeah. Are you frustrated? I have not made it that far. Are you frustrated as far as where it's at right now? Or are you kind of just like, let George do a thing?
I'm not going to let George do his thing because there's so many other books and series I need to read at this point. So he can take his time while I catch up on my TBR. Man, and maybe by the time he decides to finish it up, maybe I'll be all caught up. But hey, do your thing, George.
All right, dude. Yes, yes, I love that. I hope I'm on the opposite side. I hope I make it to, what's the most current book? Do you know the name of the most current book?
Dance with Dragons.
Okay, so Dance with Dragons. I hope I make it to Dance with Dragons by the time he decides to kick that next one out, right?
You could, yeah.
So I'm really excited for that.
Which one are you on now?
Game of Thrones. I'm on the first one. Yeah,
I
just finished.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, it's up. Okay, cool, good.
I was surprised because I watched the first few of the series on HBO. Not a big fan because of it's graphic sexual content. Like I'm not against all of that, but it just kind of got awkward to me.
No, they did. They went overboard for the show. They did. They went a little overboard with that.
I'm glad you said that because I was wondering, with your experience through that series, if it had kind of, been overboard. So it's kind of nice to hear that. And that makes sense. Hollywood is very much that way anymore. But no, it was great other than that. It just, personally, it just kind of got awkward for me. I kind of took away from the main plot. I got to throw Tori up here. Thank you so much, Tori.
Oh, hey, Tori.
Thank you for that. And, man, I'm having so much fun with my guy. Darko, man. Kindles and Case. I love that name, by the way. There's no more original name than that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I don't even know where the name came from. It literally just popped in my head one day.
It's slick. And it makes so much. It's like who can take their love of books and mix it with sneaks and kicks and those two obviously artistic, creative, like kind of stand out, and I can express myself and read other people's expression of themselves through that.
Right.
You brought those two things together well, man, and it's like they were meant. It's like bread and butter. It's like should have been all the whole time.
Appreciate that, bro.
100%, man. Jim McCleary says, Darko, you read Lies of Locke Lamora or Mistborn? Great heist books.
Yeah, I've read both of them actually. Mistborn. I haven't read it in many, many years, but I've read Era 1 and some of Era 2, and I mean, I love them all. Like all the ones I read. I love Wax and Wayne. I know Era 2 doesn't get a lot of love, but I love Wax and Wayne. To me are hilarious, and I love Lies of Locke Lamora. Red Skies Under Red Seas is actually my favorite out of this series. The second book, like that's to me that was better than Lies of Locke Lamora. So yeah, both are two great series. And Scott Lynch, speaking of somebody, like I look forward to him, finishing up his series, Gentleman Bastard. So
yeah, it's funny. I have been on the waiting list, and anybody who's watching that's been watching for a while is like they're probably tired of me saying this, but I have to say I've been on Broken Bindings listing to be like on their subscription, their monthly subscription. I started off, I was in like position 7,300. And I made it, right? So my very first book I'll get will be The Lies of Locke Lamora. And I have not read that yet.
Really? Oh, man. You're in for a treat.
Man, yeah. I've heard so many wonderful things, not just about the first book, but again, like Red Skies and all that.
And Scott Lynch, man. Yeah, he can write his butt off, Scott Lynch. And hit the dialogue. The dialogue is to me like the best part of the book.
Wow, I love that. One of my favorite authors because of the dialogue is Joe Abercrombie. So particularly that even makes me more happy to read it.
Yeah, good example.
That's awesome. So Daniel said, so Tori, now see, I won't know this. I have not read, I know Ragnar from other stuff, but Ragnar is incredible.
From Red Rising.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another one I have on my shelf up here. It's funny. Last year, if you eat, like you go to like a buffet, right, and you say my eyes were bigger than my stomach. Let's just put that in the book world, man. We had the baby last year, and I bought a lot of books. Like I'm about to get to these right now. I'm finally starting to get to those ones I was planning to get to last year. So I'm pumped, man.
I mean, you always have something to look forward to.
Exactly. So
I agree, Daniel.
He said both Gentleman Bastard sequels are unfairly malign. Okay, I love that. Daniel, man, Daniel's a reader too. He's been in. I forget how long he said in the last comment a while ago, but he's been doing this thing for a minute, and I love that. I get to hear about all these wonderful experiences, and get to look forward to my experience with them. So, are you a DNFer?
I used to be, but I've done better this year since I've joined Booktube. But yeah, prior to, huge DNFer. I could be like 90% done with the book and be like, I don't feel like reading this anymore.
Oh, wow.
And I'm done. Yeah. I used to be terrible. That's why I have so many unfinished series, like so many that I like so many big series that I've attempted to read several times and just DNF'd midway through. So I'm getting better at it though. So
I think I've kind of discovered a similar part of my journey, and that would be I am a mood reader, and I didn't know what that was. And I looked into it, heard other people talk about it, and I don't necessarily DNF books very often. There's a few, if something goes way too dark for me for no apparent reason other than like shock value, that's probably the only reason I'm gonna like DNF something. Now Curran, I throw him up here. Curran, my guy, I talk to him all the time. He DNF Sanderson. I did the same, but
really,
it was with Elantris. I think that's what I
can understand. Yeah, okay.
So I plan on, and I've actually started Mistborn, and I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sanderson, I've read majority of his.
Man, he's ambitious, dude.
Yeah, Jim, we need to find a secret to immortality. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, what book was it from Neil Gaiman? Good question, Tori. I'd love to know because Neil Gaiman is like somebody I want to really enjoy reading. I think the only book I've tried to read, and I didn't hate it, but maybe I did DNF it, was the Graveyard Book, I believe. It was called The Graveyard. It's kind of like how they raised this kid in a graveyard, and it was a little bit of a middle school, high school, younger type book. Not hating on that. Just wasn't for me at the time. Okay, so Good Omens.
Oh yeah, I haven't read that. I've read a few Gaiman books. I like him. I don't love him. He's not one of my favorites, but I've never DNF'd him before.
Gotcha. I like that. Tori says my TBR hasn't been under 400 for over 2 years. Dang.
Same, Tori. Same.
Honesty. That's another thing, man. This writing community, reviewing community is like we're all pretty honest about things, and I liked the way our guy Brian was talking to John Minton the other day from Talking Story about that in particular. Like, he put it in such a good way. I can't remember the way he said it. When I remember, I'm going to come back to that point because it was so good. It was lost in my head, and I'm a brain fart right now. So
that was just a great interview overall. Man. I love John and talking. So I watch everything he puts out.
Dude, John's blowing up.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And he deserves it, man. Him and his kid doing their thing. That's something super special.
I love that. Yeah, that's very unique. Very, very unique.
It absolutely is. I mean, he'll look back in 20 years and be like, man, that was a great time. That was special. And I hope to do similar things with my sons. Like, it's absolutely cool, man. I think that it's wonderful, and it's a good message he's putting out there.
Yes, it is.
So, who are a couple, few, however many you want to name if you've got them, auto-buy authors for you? If you're like, I know he's got something coming out. I know it's a new series or maybe this or that, but that guy, I'm buying it. I don't care.
Brandon Sanderson, definitely. Anything he puts out, even if I don't read it right away, I'm buying it just to have it. Mark Lawrence, I usually buy anything he comes out with. You see Robin Hobb now. I'm a huge Hobb fan, so anything she comes out with, I'm going to buy. And anything Harry Potter related, like if J.K. Rowling ever comes out with anything else Harry Potter, like the Cursed Child was like, we try to ignore that one, but if she comes out, if she does like a prequel with Voldemort or Dumbledore, I'm getting it.
Dude, we're buddy reading that.
Yeah, for real.
All right.
Yeah,
I love it. I grew up on that. Now, I don't know how old you are. I'm 34 this year. So
okay, I just turned 40.
Okay, so very similar growing up period.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter, man, that was influential to say the least.
Yes, it was. Like I remember the lines, people waiting for the book to be released.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Talking about Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, thank you, Tori.
Yes. Dude,
Yeah.
I thought that was wonderful. Tori, man, she's so flattering. That's wonderful. I haven't seen your review of this, but Octavia Butler is somebody I have wanted to read for a while.
Yeah, for me too. And me and Britton actually did a buddy read of Kindred last month. And wow, the book blew me away. I was upset at myself for not reading her sooner. But yeah. And I want to check out more of her stuff this year. I'm gonna read a few more things because I've received several suggestions from other Butler fans.
Hobb, okay, Robin Hobb, somebody that is absolutely on my list. I want to go through the whole. What is it, like 16 books?
Yes,
man, I want to make that journey. I've heard most recently Philip Chase, finishing that journey recently. Man, just gushed. And what is it for you about Robin Hobb?
Robin Hobb, she's the only author I've ever read that evoked every single emotion you can imagine out of me while reading the series.
Wow.
Like I cried, I laughed, I got pissed. Like Fitz, the main character, he can piss you off sometimes. But then you want to cry for him. Then you wish you could reach through the book and just hug him. I mean, she and the characters in Live Ship Traders, like some of the same thing. So and then to me, at least so far, there's no series I ever read where the ending was done so perfectly. Like she wrapped things up amazingly. I hope she doesn't write. I've heard rumors that she may write more in the series. I hope not. But because
it's like, man, it's perfect right now.
It's perfect. She ended it too well. Don't touch it. It was well done. Love it.
That's awesome, man. To feel about a series or an author that way is something very special, man. That's an experience. That's something you get to look back and kind of reminisce on, and maybe encounter in the future again if you go through it again.
Yes. I would love to revisit the Six Duchies.
The Six Duchies. All right.
Yeah.
Tori says, I just started Ship of Magic this month.
Oh, nice, Tori. Yes.
So how far is that through the series? The 16-book series, not just the.
That's the second trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Digging it. Ryan, I like this. Do you have a favorite pair of shoes in your collection, or ones that are rare collectible?
Oh man, favorite pair of. That's a good one.
Them Adidas you just unwrapped were slick.
Oh, thank you. That's probably my favorite pair right now. And I have some Jordans that I have not worn ever, that I've had for years, that are in pristine condition, that are pretty collectible. So like especially some of his 12s for anyone who are Jordan fans, and some 11, some patent leathers that have never touched the ground. So I have to say that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know very much, but I know a little bit, and I'm picking up a couple notes you're putting out, but I know for a fact this, I'm going to say, I wish I had a pair of those Back to the Future Nikes.
Oh man, yeah, those things are insane. Yeah, they're like thousands of dollars now on aftermarket. Yeah.
Dude, people are like giving their left foot for a while. It's like crazy,
Yeah.
But they're super slick. I'm not gonna lie, but
they are.
They got that nostalgia for people who grew up in that time. Like, they're cool.
And they actually work. I mean, you press the button and it auto adjusts to your foot. I mean, this is a dope sneaker.
At the time, that was like, wow, is this magic? Is this witchcraft, guys?
Right,
Nike's doing something different.
Yeah, I gotta give it to him.
It's slick. So, oh man. So, do you read outside fantasy or sci-fi? If so, what's that genre?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like biographies and autobiographies. Like I just finished Viola Davis's memoir.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that was excellent. I mean, the woman, talk about rags to riches. I mean, she grew up like no plumbing and like a 1-bedroom apartment with so much family, and like her and her 5 siblings sharing one bed, to being a multimillionaire Academy Award winner, so
with an attitude too. Anything she's like, don't mess with her.
Exactly. So to learn about her journey, well, it was quite a tale. And I listened to the audiobook because she reads it to you.
Oh, she actually narrates it.
She narrates it. And so I always love listening to the audiobook when the subject of the book narrates it. And I mean, I would recommend anybody read it who is just a fan of Viola Davis or just, learning about harrowing tales in general.
I can't. I'm having another brain fart. I know his first name. He's in politics now. Forget that side of him. That's not why I'm bringing him up. The other side of him is why I'm bringing him up. Ben. Can't remember his name. He grew up. His mother was addicted to crack. He had like 7 siblings. Nobody could read. His mother couldn't read. He grew up to be the leading pediatric brain surgeon in
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson, that's it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Rags to riches, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Gifted Hands was a book. Like, he wrote. I read that as a teenager.
Man.
And it's still one of my favorite books. Yeah.
His story absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah, because he was deemed as like a slow learner and everything. Like, yeah, it's amazing what he accomplished.
Sometimes I think it takes yeah, you guys are on top of it over there in the chat. So yes, thank you. I'm so glad that I have people who are like kind of like sharp, because I'm not, right?
Yeah, you can
So
phone a friend at all times. Yeah.
exactly. I'm phoning a friend. I
Yeah.
like that. So Ben Carson, man, it's one I like a story that makes me look inside myself and say, why am I not doing better? And why did I pay attention to this?
Mhm.
Or not necessarily hold myself to like expectations with that bad connotation to it, but I deserve to look at myself better and push myself to do better, because you got one life, right? And you get
Yes.
those crazy cool stories such as Ben Carson or Viola
Mhm.
Davis and so many others that make you look inside. It's like, man, it's just incredible, this life. Humans, I keep finding out, are consistently making me more impressed. Humans do incredible things, whether it's
Okay.
physicalities or
Yeah.
intellectual things. It just in technology, people inventing things blows my mind.
It does. And this is, to me, it's just amazing what we as humans can endure sometimes.
Oh,
Like, you never know what you can survive until you go through it. And you
yeah,
just look back and you kind of shock yourself. So, I mean, I think that's another wonderful part of being a human being.
yeah, because those people that and just for the sake of what we're talking about, the two that we talked about, Ben Carson and Viola Davis, say they're on their deathbed and
Mhm.
they look back and they're like, I gave this a real run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I gave you 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put it all on the
Mhm.
field.
Yep. No
Um,
regrets.
mm, that's
Mhm.
got to be a feeling that like no other. So it's inspiring to read, and I'm glad that you find it too. Do you? I tell you, the only other genre I kind of dabble in, other than like Lonesome Dove, because I'm not a big Western fan, but Lonesome Dove is blowing my mind.
Man, I gotta
Um,
read that. Everyone rants and raves about that book. I gotta check it out.
my wife isn't a Western fan, and she's on Streets of Laredo, and just like we'll be in the car silent or like listening to music, all of a sudden just gushes about Streets of Laredo. It's like it's got to be good. And
Hmm.
I posted that the other day, and I think that's important because you hear of Lonesome Dove, but they
Hmm.
kind of stop talking about the rest of the books in that series as if there's not much value. So there is, guys, and my wife will not stop gushing about Streets of Laredo. So I encourage you, if you've read Lonesome Dove, to keep going. You might love it just as much.
Hmm. Okay, that's good to know because you don't hear much about the other books in the series. Okay,
They're all chunkers too, like big old tomes.
there they are. Hmm.
But I like a good psychological thriller, one that's like
Mm, okay,
twisted.
yeah,
It kind of makes me go like, man, my mental processes aren't that bad.
yeah,
Like this is bad.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. So
uh,
and I also like horror too. I
mm,
forgot to mention that because Stephen King is probably one of my favorite authors. I probably like outside of maybe Robin Hobb and Jim Butcher because of their long series. Stephen King is just probably who I've read the most by. So
you and Brian's gonna have a nice conversation on the Dresden Files because he's a huge fan, as I'm sure you know.
yeah, I appreciate and as a matter of fact, and Ben over at Books with Bangers, that's one of the reasons I follow his channel because he put Dresden Files as one of his top series. And I love that. And I think he also mentioned Codex Alera, which is Jim Butcher's other series that I really like.
Codex
That I don't
Alera,
Codex Alera. I don't hear that. I don't hear people talk about that much, but
never heard of it.
I really like that series too.
Writing that bad boy down. Codex Alera. Look, I
Yeah.
just started the first book. Again, guys, I'm a mood reader. I start a lot of books, and I'll finish them. I've got to get better about finishing them sooner, sticking with one book longer before I
Mhm.
open another one. I'm just like crazy in my mind sometimes. Like I just get super. I never get bored with a book. What it is, it's like I'm always looking for like what's different, and then I find that, and then I just get like I don't give it enough chances or
Mhm.
enough chance to set in, and for me to finish it based on what I think I know. Does that make any sense? Like I'm making way too many predictions.
No, I get it. And then I think you also can kind of get impatient because you have so much other things you want to read, and so you're like, okay, I think I figured this one out, so let me try this one and see if this
Yes.
can give me more of a challenge, So no, I get it.
My God, Britton, I'm like, let's see, if I was to get, I'm like 82% done with it, and it's honestly, it's keeping up the hype that I've heard about it. It's just, have you read it?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite books this year. Piranesi. Yeah,
It's
it's insane. I know it got to be crazy for you considering like your namesake in the book.
yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, I had no idea that somebody's imagination could like create these things. It's like,
Yeah.
where is the foundation for this novel in your head? Like, where did this make sense to you? Because I'm so glad it did to you. But like,
Yes,
it would
I mean, I love
never.
Susanna Clark. Yeah, because I read Mr. Strange and Jonathan Newell last year, and like her prose to me, yeah, there we go. Yep, I read that last year. That was also an amazing book. She can also I can add her to Autobuy as well. Susanna Clark. She's dope.
I think I might have to agree, and that's only, like I said, 80% through the Piranesi. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I've heard so many wonderful things about Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell as well. Now, is it on the same wavelength? Just kind of out there, but makes total sense, and doesn't make sense, but it's beautiful and like deep.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
got it, but it's much longer. Piranesi is pretty short, but Jonathan Strange and Mr. No, I mean, it has footnotes. It's written like a history book, like you have footnotes and a story
Okay.
tale, I guess I should say. So
maybe I'm not as far as I said, guys. Maybe I'm more of like 50 or 60%. Because no, I have not gotten to any reveal. If you ruin it for me in the chat, like I'm about to throw a pen at you guys. I'm just playing. I'm very excited, and you know what I do at night after I'm done with these wonderful, amazing talks is I just kind of go and de-stress and read a little bit. I think I'm gonna finish Piranesi tonight, and that way we can talk about it.
You should. Can't wait till you finish it.
All right, I'm gonna hit you up first, like, dude.
Yeah.
So I have to say a couple things. Finding people, and not just that's vague. What I mean is finding. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I'm not saying that as like, I don't know. I'm pretty good at telling when somebody is going to really impress me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm absolutely enthralled with the channel you've created, man. I think you're doing something very, very cool, and you have a wonderful personality, and it's just a delight to watch. I think honestly it couldn't be more fun to watch, and I'm so glad that you agreed to come and hang out with me on this really, really fun kind of interview back, man. Kind of just kick it and talk books. It's been just a blast,
man. Thank you, man. I mean, I'm truly honored to be here. To for you to have asked me to come. I mean, I can't even explain how honored I felt. And like I was gushing, it's funny. Like I ran to my husband. I was like, "Yo, this Booktube that I haven't watched it for I don't know how long. He just got back from my 80s, and he wants me to just be his first guest." I was just rambling on, and he was like, "Okay, you know, if you're excited, I'm excited too. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay."
Yeah, I have to say though, I have a similar experience with my wife. Like I've been showing her your videos, and just kind of as a blanket statement, I want to say that I'm flattered, and I think that you and I have a very mutual respect for one another and what we're each doing with our individual channels. And I think that's really something not to pass up and talk with people like that, man, because it's valuable. It's wonderful. It's an experience. And again, I told you this earlier, man, I've got a lot of cool ideas. I had 3 weeks to sit and think about fun things that I want to do when I get back, right, with my channel. So I got some cool things that I'm going to reach out to you about very, very soon. But I just want to say thank you for coming and hang out with me. It's been crazy numbers. It just is really flattering. Everybody showing up to talk.
Man. I'm honored. Thank you so much for everybody who came out to support this live. I mean, I had a good time.
anybody, as if you don't need any other reasons than what I've said, go to Kindles and Kicks. Just hit the sub button, and I promise you'll thank me. It's just a wonderful channel. Look, guys, I've had a wonderful kind of comeback interview, man. I'm back in it. I just had a blast. So, Darko, man, had so much fun with you. Anybody who was in the chat for the live stream here, thank you. And anybody who will watch in the future, absolutely thank you too. I have quite the open schedule. I do and I don't. So I won't go into too many details. I don't have a planned as of yet next interview. I do and I don't. It's like it's going to happen, but I don't know exactly the day. Could be tomorrow, could be the next day. But just I'll let everybody know on Twitter, Discord, all that fun stuff. So just kind of be looking out for that, because I'm very excited to kind of just dive back in, talk to the community, have fun, and relate with all of you. So until next time,
we're glad to have you back, man. You know, you've been missed.
Thank you so much. That's seriously the most flattering thing ever, bro. Oh, I wanted to say, have you read this?
Oh yes, I'm actually on the 3rd book right now.
Oh
man, that series is insane. If you're not on Dandelion Dynasty, get on it.
Oh
yeah, wild. Yeah.
I had a feeling that was going to be what you was going to say, and as if I didn't need like any more a reason to read it, because man, I've just heard
each book is better. Just get
that's kind of rare, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason I ask is because I'm switching a couple things out in the TBR, and that's taking a priority. So I'm pumped, because I've heard so many wonderful things, especially from like Matt's Vantage Review, you, so many other people. So thank you for giving me your opinion on that.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys have a wonderful night. We will see you very soon. Darko, you have a wonderful night. Everybody in the chat, have a wonderful night.
Good night, everybody. Appreciate you.